Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. I'm going to talk about this subject matter because I briefly have touched on it on the podcast in the past, but I definitely want to bring it up again because in my ladies group of media moguls and folks, this was actually a subject that came up. And one young lady was talking about having boundaries in her business. And when I tell you, everybody was like, girl, I understand exactly what you mean. So here's some of the things that I went through in the early stages of my business. I decided to stop doing appointments on the weekends. The reasons why I stopped doing appointments on the weekends, one was because, if I'm very honest, most of the appointments were always interrupted. So I'll be straight up about it. You hear the dog barking in the background. You hear the kids yelling. You hear the spouses and everything going on. I've even had a client one time many years ago who would have their appointments on Saturdays during their kids' baseball game. And I'm like, that's not the time to be doing this. They think they're concentrating and then all of a sudden they yell out, because they're cheering their child on, which I think is amazing. But that's not the time to be having an appointment because they think because they're sitting, off to the side on the bleachers, what they think is a quiet area, but you hear all the yelling going on in the background. So I decided when I remember one time I was scrolling through Instagram and I realized that I was the only one that was in the house. Now this is pre-COVID. I scrolled around to pretty much all of my clients. At the time, I think I had maybe 11 or 12 clients. And I was scrolling through Instagram and all of them, every last one, a couple of them were on vacation in other countries. Another couple of them were on vacation in the country. If they live on the East Coast, they were on the West or vice versa. Every single one of them was doing something exciting. Every single one was at brunch or some sort of luncheon or later on some sort of dinner, dancing at somebody's party. And I said, hold on a second now. And there was a whole bunch of projects that I promised to get done for these clients over the weekend, that same weekend. And I thought to myself, no, this is not happening anymore. Now, this was quite a few years ago, and I decided that I needed to have boundaries around my business. Not only for the directives of family and friends, but also for clients as well. So for all my business owners, when you think that you're being kind, oh, I'm just trying to help somebody out. Oh, I'm just trying to do this for them. Oh, you need to create boundaries around your business because you think you're being nice, but what you're doing is you're teaching them that you have zero boundaries, and you're really teaching people to use you. This is what I have discovered, because people will use you as long as you allow it and as much as you allow it. But when you put boundaries around, they will understand that you're off limits. Now, that does not mean that if a client has something going on the weekend, that as a business you should disappear, because some businesses are open all week long, 7 days a week, kind of like Walmart, Target, places like that. If you choose to be in that type of business, then you have to probably be a little bit more strategic. But when you're in a service-based business, there's no 9-to-5 company, just a regular 9-to-5 office or company that you could call on a Saturday afternoon or even on a Sunday, and they're going to pick up the phone. So if you are a service-based business in that regard, why would you be answering the phone at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday? That should be the time that you are spending with your family. If you are a churchgoer, that would be the time that you spend with your family within your church house. Whatever that looks like for you. So I realized when I was scrolling through Instagram these years ago, and I'm seeing every single client that I had at the time was just enjoying themselves. And I had bogged myself down and overextended myself when I should not have, in the vein of I want to be this super duper, brand manager. And I want to make sure that they understand my dedication. My dedication to my clients is every single day. My dedication is when I edit the heck out of their videos. My dedication is when I run their podcasts like it's nobody's business. I have 3 different podcasts that I run for clients right now. And people are constantly commenting on their Instagrams and in the podcast comments. Like, oh, I really like this episode. This is really great. Oh, where do you get your music from? The transitions are really clean. That's a lot of work. And we come from a society, or we are in a society where we think that we can hand people work at 4:50 in the afternoon during the week and think that that person now has to stay late at work to get that said thing done when you had the whole day to hand it over, right? Right. So what I'm saying to you, listeners, business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever fancy name that you give yourself, believe me when I tell you, now is the time for you to put boundaries around your business. My grandmother used to say it, and I know I've said this on this podcast before. My grandmother used to always say, you can't answer every bell that rings. You can't go to every event. You can't go to every party. You cannot do for people beyond what you are capable of handling. And even if you tell someone that you cannot do something because you are literally going to go home and take a nap, they don't need to be privy to all of that information. Because no is what? A complete sentence. So even if you can't do something because you don't feel like it, or you don't feel like dealing with it, or it's overextending yourself in a certain scenario, all you have to do is politely say no, or let said individuals know when something can be done, completed, revisited, whatever it is that you need to do. Because when you have zero boundaries, that's how people are going to treat you. And every now and then, you have to remind people. Because I know I've had to do it. We're 6 months. We got the last 6 months of this year. Now we're in the second set of months here. We completed the first 6 months of 2022. Now we have started the second set of 6 months of 2022. Let's unlearn some bad habits. And one of those bad habits is putting people on the spot for something that you need right now because you failed to prepare. Ooh, that's a real tough one. That's a real tough one. Because you failed to prepare because you did not get what you needed to have done. Your procrastination does not equal my urgency. Right? Let's say that again. Your procrastination does not create my urgency. And I promise you, if you fashion some sort of boundaries around your business, And this goes for personal life as well. This is not just business. This is even dealing with family and friends and all of that. If you keep some personal boundaries in those areas, your personal life and your business, you're going to be better for it. Don't allow anyone, I don't care what is going on. If you say that a specific day is your day off, stick to that. If you say that this is a day that you just need time to yourself, stick to that. Stop answering text message. Stop answering phone calls or whatever it is that's going to disturb your peace. Because what will happen is, they know that you're off, but they will call you anyway because they know you're off. But you said you wanted to take that time to yourself, so don't answer the phone. Just because the phone rings don't mean you have to answer it. That's why there's voicemail. Answer back when you are able to do so. And sometimes it's hard for people to understand that. And people will get their feelings hurt sometimes or whatever the case may be. You don't have to be rude about it. Just be consistent on where you stand with certain things. Because when you don't, this is what ends up happening. It becomes the drain of your entire soul. And I went through this very early in my business, and I don't go through it anymore at all. Because I don't allow boundaries to be stepped on. If you want your boundaries to be stepped on and you feel like you want to, do that every now and then for yourself, that's up to you. But I make sure to try to keep those boundaries in place. And it sounds mean and it sounds like, you're saying no to people. No is a complete sentence, my friends. And you got to learn how to say no sometimes. You really, really do. So keep your boundaries in your business. And actually, this is something that I read on the Productive Zone. It is saying why setting boundaries in business is important. Setting boundaries gives you the ability to clearly communicate expectations with customers and clients so they will respect you and your time. It also gives you the ability to clearly communicate your business needs and rules to family and friends so they will respect you and your business. And I know sometimes that's really hard. That happened to me in the beginning stages of my business. My mom used to call me in the middle of the day all the time. And I said, "Ma, I'm working." She's like, "Well, you're home." And I said, "I know, but I'm working." And she was a little offended at first. But then when I explained to her my schedule and how it is now, she was like, "You know what? I had no idea." So she's learned over the years, like, okay, this girl is really working. Or if she has to call me for something because it's something really important, she was like, "Hey, I don't want to interrupt your work, but I just wanted to let you know about such and such and such, something that I need to do for her," or whatever the case may be. And she has to get in touch with me. I'm like, "Okay, no problem. I'll take care of it," But it is tough in the beginning for people to understand that, especially when you are a work from home entrepreneur, business owner, and such. It's very tough for people to get used to that. Family, friends, it's kind of tough. But like I said, put those boundaries around your business and you will be better for it. Don't think that you doing stuff for people all the time is you being nice, because it's not. It's people pleasing, and people pleasing over time will make you miserable and make you feel used. Believe me when I tell you, I have been down this road. Talk to other people about this said subject and hear what other people have to say. Don't just take my word for it. Talk to some other people about it, and I'm sure you will hear similar stories. Putting boundaries around your business, even around your personal life. I see a lot of people, they're pulling away from posting a lot of personal things on social media. Some people that used to post everything, they don't hardly post anything now. You would not even know what they had going on. And to be honest, I like that. Everybody's free to do whatever they want. How I do my social media, I don't dictate other people how they do it. You can ask me my opinion and I'll give you my opinion, but when everything's said and done, you're going to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? But I do enjoy when people do not share every step of their day. Just share with us meaningful things, thoughtful things. Hey, I thought of you, and you forward something to somebody that you thought would be, something that they could find value in. Just not this every nonsense, that goes on. People want to be connected to foolishness just to say they're in the mix. And it's not necessary. I literally follow as few people as I can on social media, because if your account is not inspiring me in some way, it is not uplifting and positive and that kind of thing, I just don't follow it. And I have a whole lot of public figure celebrities that I absolutely love, but I don't follow them on social media, because I want to make sure that what I'm ingesting every day, and not just food, but the things that you ingest with your eyes, the television that you watch, the shows that you watch, the podcast that you listen to, should be encouraging and uplifting. And if it's not that, you got to rearrange and reevaluate what you have going on. And part of that is putting up boundaries of what you will tolerate and what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate. Personal and professional. I promise you, I'm telling you, you will be a better person for it. Try it as a test. 30 days. Just ingest positivity and release positivity into the atmosphere. Stay away from negative as much as possible. Challenge yourself and see what a difference it actually makes. Boundaries. All right, you guys, that's all I got for you today. Like, share, subscribe to this podcast. Let me know that you are listening. Connect with me on Instagram at Onyx Queen Media, and I will post you in my stories as a shout out. Tag me. I love to meet people who listen to the podcast and give me feedback on the podcast. You can actually click on this podcast and you can leave feedback if you're coming in from Anchor. Give us a great rating. Rate us on Apple, wherever you're listening. We love to get feedback from our supporters. All right, you guys, I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Online savings simplified. Don't search for coupon codes ever again. With one click, Honey's smart shopping assistant will automatically apply discounts to your cart in seconds. Save on all your favorite things. Easily pay less for products you're already buying online. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Join Honey for free. It takes 2 clicks to add Honey to your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera browser. Find savings in seconds. While you shop, Honey will find working promo codes across the entire internet, and you save instantly. With one click, Honey will apply the best deals to your cart. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Get Honey. Download it today. Visit our link, www.tinyurl.com/ONYXHONEY. That's www.tinyurl.com/Onyx Honey. Start saving right now.